Hello everyone and welcome to another Edyst session, and today's session we are going to discuss something that most of you have requested, and that is how can you crack product companies and get higher packages. So Edyst students work at a lot of product companies and a lot of services companies as well, and we have the exact knowledge of what exactly it takes to reach a product company versus what it takes to reach a services company, because so many of our alumni are working at both of these. And in today's session, I want to talk to you about what exactly is a product company and what do I exactly mean by high package. What are the myths and reality of getting into a product company? What's the exact formula that you should follow to get a high package? Most of our students who've been preparing for advanced and higher companies have followed this formula, and they've really got a job in these product-based companies. In this formula specifically, I'll be talking about what you should study, what are the projects you should do, and how you can actually get an interview opportunity. And finally, at the end of the session, we'll make a plan of action for you on starting from now, how can you eventually get into a product-based company. But before all of that, what exactly is a product company? So a product company is one which is generally working on their own technology, and because they're working on their own technologies, they need a higher level of engineering. They need a higher level of engineering students for it, or engineers for it, and that's why they pay better packages. So they pay anywhere from 6 lakhs per annum all the way up to 25 lakhs per annum, and this is again all domestic. If you go for international, if you're going abroad, these packages go up even higher. So just to give an example, right, Google and Amazon are one of the most famous product-based companies. Google alone has hundreds of products, some of them being Gmail, Google Docs. Amazon itself has Amazon Alexa, which is into speech technology, Amazon Web Services, which is into cloud and DevOps. And you can see that there are very different engineering problems to be solved in each of these products, and what these product companies require is for you to be able to solve these problems, to create new technologies, and hence they require a bigger level or a better level of engineering from their intake. And the major thing that they're looking for, the ideal candidate these product companies are looking for, is can you solve new problems on your own? Because see, imagine if I told you about 15-20 years back that we want to create a cloud service. If you don't have the engineering capacity, you will not be able to figure out that an Amazon Web Services will eventually exist. Similarly, Google Docs allows so many people, thousands of people, to edit the same document at the same time. This requires knowing a special algorithm, but to do that algorithm, you must be aware of how to learn new algorithms and have a good knowledge of algorithms and data structures. So if you want to work at these companies, you have to demonstrate that you have the ability to solve new problems on your own. You can communicate and collaborate well with others, and you can deal with uncertainty. So there will be a lot of unknowns in your problems. Can you deal with those unknowns and still come at a solution? So that's what these product companies are looking for, and which is very different from what services companies are looking for. Services companies are generally looking for your basic knowledge of programming, and can you work well with each other. There's not so many new problems that services companies end up solving. So the bar to get into it, or the criteria to get into a product company, is much higher because of this. Now, let me share a few myths and realities, and we'll probably answer some of the questions you have at this time. So for example, a lot of students think that product companies are only large corporates. Like, even we have used Google and Amazon as examples. Well, the reality is that Google and Amazon were once a startup themselves, and many startups are also offering great packages, and they are working on amazing problems. So while the best companies, or the most aspirational, the ones with the best brand value, are these amazing big corporates, we have seen a lot of students get into startups with higher packages, working on amazing problems, and then move into a Google or Amazon or a Facebook for the brand value. What I mean by this is, you need not only target the big brands, you can also target small and medium-sized startups who are working on amazing products, and with that, get your journey started as a product-based engineer. So you don't always need to go for the large corporates. That's one of the myths. The other myths the student have is that I need to be from an IIT or an NIT or a triple IT, or basically any premier institute, to crack these companies, otherwise I won't get in. And the reality is, companies are nowadays open to candidates from any college. We have seen students from tier 3, tier 4 towns, from rural engineering colleges, actually end up at these companies simply because they have demonstrated that they can solve problems, they can deal well with uncertainty, and they can communicate well. And how they've demonstrated, I'll show you in just a bit. But it is a myth now that yes, you definitely have an advantage if you're from an IIT or a triple IT or an NIT, any of these colleges. For sure you have an advantage, but it's not like the olden days where you could only go to those colleges and get a placement. Nowadays there are so many opportunities open, and I'll share those opportunities in a bit. There are so many opportunities open that you can be from any college and still get into these companies. The other thing is that a lot of students equate that TCS Infosys means a low package. With the TCS Infosys, I will never end up getting a high package. And when I say TCS Infosys, I just don't mean them. I mean services-based companies like, Wipro, Cognizant, and all of them. And this is also not true. What's happening of late is that, TCS, Infosys, and many other services companies also have product roles. So they have special product roles. They call them different things. In TCS, it's called TCS Digital. In Infosys, I think it's called Specialist Engineer or a Power Programmer. Wipro has its own, Cognizant has its own, and so on. So everybody has their own special role, product roles, because they are also starting to get very specific product-based projects which they need higher level engineers for. So you could start your career at a TCS, Infosys, or any services company and still make 6 lakhs or 7 lakhs or 8 lakhs per annum because they are working on a bigger or a better project, or basically a more complex project. So don't just rule out a TCS or an Infosys. It's one of not the easiest, but it's one of the ways of getting into a product role as well. Another myth that people have is I need to pay a lot for referrals. Like I need to pay close to 1 lakh rupees just to get a referral. And that's not at all true. We've seen so many students, including Edyst students, who we have helped connect with companies simply from a warm introduction. We know somebody in that company, or they know somebody in that company, or they know someone who knows someone, and they just pass on the resume. And if there's a hiring opportunity open, they can participate in those hiring rounds. Now, again, will everybody help you out and will everybody give you a referral based on your resume? No. Your resume has to be so compelling that people want to give you a referral. But what I'm trying to say here is you don't need to pay a lot for a referral. You can just simply do it through warm connections if you have the right profile to do it. And I'll explain more about that in just a bit. Another myth that most people have is that I need to be an ace in competitive coding. That is, I need to be attending all ACM ICPCs. I need to be cracking all of Code Forces and Code Chefs challenges that happen, the monthly challenges, the weekly challenges, and so on. And it is great. I mean, those challenges are amazing and they're really good for your mind and for your algorithms and data structures preparation. They're not a requirement. In fact, a majority of Edyst students who've cracked these product-based companies have had very little history of competitive coding. They've just made sure that they've practiced enough for the companies, and I'll explain the formula in just a bit, but it's not a requirement at all. In fact, in some cases, competitive coding becomes an overkill. That is, they go so theoretical and they go so into certain algorithms that they're never going to be asked in a hiring round anyways. So it's a brilliant sport. Trust me, competitive coding is amazing. It's a different high that you get out of it. And, I have super respect for that. And, I really look up to all the great competitive coders. They're just amazing. But it's not a must-have to crack a product-based company. It helps you, yes, but it's not a must-have, and you can do without it as well. So just a few myths and realities from our side for some common misconceptions that people have regarding product-based companies. Now let me come to the formula, the very famous formula that I think all of you have known, but I'll just reiterate it. The basic formula that you need to crack a product-based company is you need a very, very solid foundation in algorithms and data structures. Without that, everything else, you could have a good project, you could have good communication skills, but without that, nothing else works out. In fact, there are times where just basis of your algorithms, data structures, you may crack a company, and not have a good project as well. But anyways, these are the three components. And if you have a decent enough grasp on all three, then you have a very good chance of being the ideal candidate that these companies look for. So algorithms and data structures, this demonstrates to the companies that you're able to solve problems very, very regularly, and difficult problems you can solve just by solving these questions. So algorithms, data structures is the number one thing asked by any product-based company. Then once you clear the technical coding round, then you will actually have to go to a technical interview. To clear the interview, what you need is a really good project. Without a good project, you won't be able to crack any of these companies. So you need a really good project. And students often ask me, how important is a project? Well, let me tell you, if there are two students One is an algorithms and data structures person only, and one is somebody who's cracked algorithms, data structures, and has a good project. When both of them clear the technical round or the coding round, the initial coding round, and they go to the technical round, if the interviewer is comparing both of them, obviously you choose the one which has a better project. That's where it comes in. It's more of a tiebreaker. It actually helps you out in the technical interview. You definitely need your algorithms and data structures to crack the coding round. And then finally comes the communication skills. This is very important because, as I've said, those product companies are like your Googles, Facebooks, Amazon. They're international teams. And in an international team, if you are not able to communicate, especially in these times where remote work is on the rise, if you are not able to communicate well, because many people are working from home, you're supposed to speak only on phone or on video calls. If you're not able to communicate your idea or your updates or your progress, then you will not survive in those companies. And that's why they have a very high bar, or they definitely check for communication skills when they are interviewing. So that's this is the formula. It's not a rocket science, but let me go deeper into this. So in algorithms and data structures, again, for different levels of companies, you have a different syllabus or different things that you can expect. For example, I will divide them into like three things: basic, medium, and advanced. And ideally you should be prepared in all of them. But from our experiences, if you, let's say, prepare the basics, that is your arrays. The arrays involves binary search, 2 pointers, all of the prefix sums, those kind of algorithms. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just give me a minute. But those kind of algorithms that you have here, those basics algorithms, similarly strings algorithms, bit manipulation, match, all of these, generally speaking, these are for companies that are offered somewhere between 6 to 8 lakhs per annum. These are enough to crack it. I won't say like for all companies, but oftentimes just these initial ones is enough to crack those. Then the more you go higher, that is, you go to higher packages, then you get data structures questions like stacks, queues, linked lists. So this entire middle column is all about data structures, and you start getting data structures questions from that. Then you go to the advanced concepts of backtracking, dynamic programming, graphs. And it's not to say that a 7 lakh company will not ask advanced questions. They can ask him, but even if you don't prepare for them, you may be able to crack it. However, the best way to crack any company is to prepare this entire syllabus, because trust me, like it's a building block. If you prepared arrays, then you can go to data structures like array, strings, bit manipulation. You can go to data structures. And once you prepared the medium part, going to advanced is not that difficult. If you have the right guidance and mentorship, you can crack that as well. So the best thing to do is be an all-rounded in all of these topics, not just pick and choose something, because you never know. There might be a very simple arrays question, but it involves dynamic programming, and very, very basic concept of dynamic programming, but it might just involve it. And if you've never done dynamic programming, it could be a problem. So these are the major topics that you get here. This is also the exact syllabus for our advanced algorithms course, which I'll just speak to you about in a bit. But this is the the major stuff that people ask in the algorithms and data structures part, and this is what you need to be good at. Obviously, when I speak about all of this, you need to be good at time complexity, that is reducing and making your the problems and your solutions much more efficient, be it in space or time, that is making your problems much more run faster. They should not have a time limit exceeded, and so on. So those are the things, but this is the major syllabus that you can expect. The next part, so we spoke about the algorithms and data structures. The next part then you need to be good at is a really good project. So a good project, what exactly is there? So we get a lot of students asking us, sir, what can we do as a good project? Let me tell you some of the parameters for what I call a good project. Number one, it should be on a latest technology. If you're working on a really old technology, it's not going to carry much weight on your resume. So it needs to be really, one of the latest technologies. Must be full stack. So when I say full stack, it doesn't be like web development full stack. It means it should be an end-to-end deployment. For example, if you've created an IoT app, or if you've created a AR VR app, it can't just be that it runs on your system. It should be able to run on any system. So it should be deployed somewhere on the cloud, preferably, and people should be able to either run it directly from their browser, run it from their mobile, or simply be able to run it on their own system without you having to go and install that on that system. Okay. It should not be one of those 2 days or 3 day projects. I have seen a lot of students do a 2-day hackathon, 3-day hackathon, and think that they will crack product companies based on that hackathon project. Trust me, that doesn't work. They require at least like a good number to have is a 45 days of work, because if you've worked on a project for 45 days, it doesn't mean you take an easy project and just work on it for 45 days. What I mean is you take a project that will actually take you 45 days to work on. And if you work on a project for about 45 days, you have so much to talk about in an interview, because see, these project based interviews can go up to 30 minutes or 40 minutes, right? And if it's just a 2-day hackathon which you created the project, you're not really going to get much mileage out of it in an interview. Finally, if it's preferable that you have it in the field of the company. So if you're applying to a Google or Amazon, they work in all aspects. But let's say if you're applying to a very specific e-commerce company that they just do e-commerce stuff, right? It'll be very good if you've done something in web development or mobile app development, right? That would be really nice. You could do an ML project, a machine learning project, but not sure how much that aligns with their core business, right? So that's there. And in that sense, one of the best projects that you could do, I could think of 3 domains which are really, really good for all of you. One is full stack web development. Full stack web development, simply because you can do full stack web development and you can do 10 other projects based on other technologies as well. See, if you're creating an e-commerce store, you can use full stack web development. If you're creating an attendance portal, or if you're creating a library portal, or if you're creating a Zomato like clone or an Instagram clone, all of these things can be done using a full stack web development, right? And you can still go and develop machine learning projects and introduce or include them in these full stack web development projects. So it's like a gateway to all other projects. That's why I really suggest doing a full stack project as a starter. Do that and then go on to the other ones. Another type of project that you could do is in machine learning and AI. It's currently the flavor of the month. A lot of people are doing it, like facial recognition, speech recognition, handwriting recognition. All of these things are done. Just a word of caution here: if you're again doing those 2 or 3 day project on ML and AI that many people are producing and just selling, it's not a wrong thing. It's definitely worth to get an introductory tutorial into ML and AI just by doing like a simple 2 day project. That won't be enough for you to clear the technical interview, because in the technical interview they will actually ask, okay, you created this model, can you tell me how that model was actually created behind the scenes? What's the maths behind it, right? And if you don't know that, then you can get into trouble. For a services company, that simple 2 day project may work. For a product company, it will not. Other important technologies that you can work on is IoT, blockchain, AR, VR, even mobile app development. All of these are things you can work on, but try to keep it, why I chose these 2 technologies mainly for full stack web dev and ML AI is because most companies work in these domains. And if you have a project in these domains, then you can actually go and when you're sitting in an interview, when you're talking about a project, then you will have some commonalities with the interviewer. So if you did a virtual reality project, you don't know if the company ever works in virtual reality. You don't know if the interviewer knows anything about virtual reality. And so it won't be a high quality discussion. Whereas if you do something from full stack web dev or ML AI, you can have a high quality discussion over there. Okay. And finally, the last thing which you said is communication skills. So when you say communication skills, it doesn't mean that you have to be a champion public speaker. You don't really have to be a champion, Toastmasters or something. All you need to do is you need to have the ability to convey your project, convey your problems in the right way. And if you don't know, how this works, simply just check some of our previous videos on how we explain programming problems. You should be able to explain in that way. You can't just, explain programming problems by explaining the code. You have to be able to convey your logic. You have to be able to explain to somebody who doesn't know anything about ML AI how your ML AI project is working or how your full stack web development project is working. So that's what we mean by good communication skills. And so that's there. So as you were saying that, you could have a good project, you need to have algorithms and data structures. And also, so this is the exact formula. Now, how can you start getting interview opportunities? Because that's the last part. So just recapping of this, if you want to get into or become the ideal candidate, algorithms, data structures are a must. You need to have a good project and your comp skills need to be there. All these 3 things, you can become the ideal candidate. The best part about this is achievable. It's not like, oh, if I'm not born smart, I can never get into an product based company. No, you can definitely get into it. In fact, we've known so many people who had not heard about any of these product based companies before coming to their 3rd year or final year, and they were still able to crack it because they had the right mentorship and guidance. So it's very much possible. how do you actually, so once you've done all of this, let's say you've done algos, data structures, you've done good projects, you've polished your communication skills, how do you actually get into any of these companies? You would need a good opportunity, right? And many tier 2 and tier 3 college students keep reaching out and saying there are not enough opportunities, I don't know how to get into, like, all my skills are there, but I'm not getting the right interview opportunities, right? So a lot of students come back and tell us this. Well, there are three major ways in which you can think of applying for these companies, right? Number one is campus drives, and I know many companies don't come to your campus, or rather maybe only services-based companies are coming to your campuses, but it's still there. There are still, in every city there are some colleges where these Amazon and ServiceNow, JP Morgan, these companies are starting to enter those colleges as well. So it may not be for all campuses, but just because you're from a tier 2 college may not mean that your companies don't come. There are chances that a company still visits your campus. Okay, look out for off-campus drives. So oftentimes they might do, I know for example JustPay is a company that offers a good amount of package, and they still do off-campus drives. So there are many such companies. I believe AWS used to do an on-campus drive. They do it almost every year, and they offer 19 lakhs per annum, and they do it through an off-campus. So just because you're from a tier 2 college doesn't mean you don't get campus opportunities. You still get campus opportunities as well. So look out for all like off-campus drives. But don't just focus on off-campus drives. There's another set of challenges, and these are like hackathons or online events. So especially during this time where companies are not able to go to campuses, the travel has been restricted, you can actually get opportunities through online hackathons or online hiring events. So for this, be in touch with your placement team, because the placement team is the one that often receives all of these updates, and it's always good to be in touch with your placement officer. Your placement officer is generally busy. They may not have time to forward all of these opportunities. So if you keep reaching out to them and keep asking them, then they can they'll remember and they'll forward these to you. Similarly, join important channels. There are a lot of Telegram channels. Edyst Telegram channel is one of them, but there are a lot of Telegram channels, a lot of WhatsApp groups, a lot of Facebook groups that have come up that regularly share information, especially on LinkedIn as well. They share information about upcoming hiring drives, and this is just a matter of luck. Like if you missed out that opportunity, you miss it out. So best to be available on all of these platforms, and just for the information, not just to do time pass, but to actually get information. And also be regular on all of these competition websites like HackerRank, HackerEarth, CodeChef. I know these websites to actually keep conducting regular hiring competitions. There are other platforms as well, but these are the most popular ones. So make sure you have a profile there. You're actively participating in all competitions that they are conducting as well. Finally, there is one more way, and that way is of referrals. So that is, referrals is nothing but somebody in that company, and that they might have openings, or they may have openings in the future, and you forward your resume to them and you ask them to refer you for that company, because most companies actually have an internal referral policy, and they love to get referrals from their known employees, because it reduces the hassle of going outside and getting students. So if you have certain referrals, it's really good to have. And especially referrals work really well in small and medium sized companies where they don't really have a really big HR unit. So it works really well in startups, especially startups that offer like higher packages. They are more than happy to receive referrals and figure it out. In fact, many of our students, Edyst students, have got referrals through Edyst itself, because we are in the startup circle, so we are able to place students there. Many students get referrals via LinkedIn, so be active on LinkedIn. But again, a referral, just knowing somebody in a company will not help you out if you are not the ideal candidate, if you don't have the right profile. How can you get the right profile? You should be good at algos, data structures. You should have a good project. Just by looking at your resume, having a really good resume and seeing your project, a potential referrer or somebody who's going to refer you should be think that, okay, I can refer this person. They should not think that this resume is not great, I don't feel like referring this person. So become worthy of a referral and then go for a referral. And this is more of an informal aspect. The referral part is an informal aspect. So try, this is more of an art than a science. And, it takes some getting used to. It takes some getting used to on how you can actually ask for referrals. But once you get into the hang of it, you can start doing that. And everybody, trust me, most of the people at Facebooks and Googles and all of these companies have either gone through a referral or have referred somebody. So it's nothing new for them. Don't be shy while asking, but at the same time be mindful that once you ask, and if your resume is not good enough, they may not refer you again next time, right? So first make yourself worthy of a referral, and then start going for a referral. So knowing all of this, if you want to crack a product based company, and if you really want to get up there and be one of those people who are working on these amazing problems with great packages, what should your plan of action be? So your plan of action in a nutshell should be this, and we can discuss more in future sessions as well. Number one, see, algorithms and data structures. To get to the level that you can crack these coding questions, you need at least 1000 hours of coding. And this is difficult. Like, you can't just suddenly get up tomorrow and say you're going to code every day, because there are limited number of hours in a day. If there were 1000 hours in a day, you could have done it in a day, but you cannot. You need to do it continuously, and you need to have a habit of coding. And this becomes especially difficult if you don't have a peer group, if you don't have the right mentors, if you don't have the right guidance. So you can do it alone, yes, but I would highly suggest trying to join up a certain course, or just with your friends from a study circle, and keep studying regularly on it. Otherwise it becomes really difficult. Identify projects from your areas of interest. So some people are naturally inclined to, let's say, mobile app development. Some people are more inclined to web development. Some people want to explore the maths behind AI and ML and want to do AI ML projects. All of them are fine. But identify your interest from the start. Don't come to your pre-final year or just before your interviews and say, just going around asking your batchmates, hey, what's the best project to pick up? Should I do this project? And don't go into that way. If the more interested you are in a project, the better you will be able to explain in the interview as well. So start looking out for a project now. Start working for it right away. Don't think that you can work 2 days before or 1 day before the interview. Work every day on a project, and work every day on a algorithms, data structure syllabus. And you should start preparing for interview at least 3 months prior to the interview itself, because the way you answer interview questions is very, very different in an algorithms and data structures interview as compared to a services company or just a general interview. So you need to have that right preparation, and at least 3 months prior to it, start preparing for interviews, which means at least 6 months prior to that, you should have completed your algorithms and data structures syllabus, or you should have at least started it, right? So that's there. And lastly, seek mentorship. See, I see a lot of students trying to learn everything from scratch, figure out that, this you're not supposed to answer an interview in this way after 2 months of preparation, right? And that's, don't waste your time in that sense. You can do that, or you can have the right mentorship with you, you can have the right guidance with you, and they will help you out and short circuit that learning for you and say, what, in an interview never say these 3 things. Great, you don't need to waste an actual interview to learn those. Somebody's actually been through an interview and they are saying all of these things. So do seek mentorship, don't reinvent the wheel, is the plan of action, I would say. So if you are somebody who's serious about algorithms and data structures, right now sit down, figure out from today, starting today, what are the hours I am going to practice every day, so that within a certain amount of time I can reach 1000 hours. What are the areas and the projects of interest that I have, and then get started on those, right? And if you would want to continue this journey with the Edyst platform, we actually have a course right for this one, although there are many there, but one of the things I would like to suggest is the Edyst platform, because we have helped especially tier 2 and tier 3 college students. We know the exact mindset that's there. We know the exact deficiency you have in your current programming skills, and we've designed this course keeping all of you in mind. So you can check out our course. It's on this link, bit.ly/edyst-adv. There's one free module of Google and Amazon questions as well. You can go ahead and check that out too. And yeah, so you can check that out. You can check, there's a free explanation there as well. You can check how exactly Edyst helps you out and studying for this. And as I said, we are completely, we are all about mentorship and mentor support. We don't want to just give you these questions and go away. We have weekly sessions. We do a lot of mentorship sessions, as well as we have mentors online on the platform who can solve your doubts. So that entire ecosystem that you require to actually crack product companies, we have that. We also give referrals to companies. This we give to high performers in the course, and to people who've been regular and serious. And because we get a lot of inquiries from companies if we have students from the product level, and so we definitely do give referrals as well. That's another thing that we do. And we also do industry awareness sessions. In fact, we get people who are hirers. They actually take the hiring interviews, the technical interviews. We get them for sessions and we interview them. We understand what they are looking for in a candidate. So all of this provides you a great way to actually get started with your advanced algos preparation. I'll just show you on the Edyst platform. If you click over here, bit.ly/edyst-adv, this is what comes up for you. This is the thing, and you can go ahead, check out the entire syllabus that we are preparing for. And if you're so interested, you can also do try one free module. You can try out one module actually. This is what will open up for you. This is the one module. One second, it's just loading. Yeah, so this is what will actually open up for you with the first module completely free. In this module we have a few Google, Facebook, as well as a Google, Amazon and an Uber question available to you, which you can practice. You can also watch the tutorial for it, and you can practice that as well. And if you're stuck in any one of them, do reach out to the mentors. We have mentors online who will help you out. So you can reach out to the mentors as well. And the whole how to actually use the Edyst platform, we have a tour of that over here, so you can check that out as well. So that's mainly what I wanted to share with all of you, how you can crack product companies. I hope that was helpful to all of you. If you still have questions about product companies, how and what they ask, any doubts about the preparation process, please let us know in the comments below. We'll happily help you out. If you like this introductory or informatory session, please subscribe to the channel and also like this video so that more people can come to know about it. And let us know in the comments below what other information you'd like from us. Either in the comments below, or you can also reach out to us on this number on WhatsApp or this email. We are always happy to answer queries. Even this course came about because most of the Edyst students said that we really want to prepare for higher level companies, so we prepared a course for that. If there's something specific you want to prepare, let us know. Edyst is here for the students, and we love to keep preparing things for students. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this session. If you did, subscribe to this channel, and we will have many such informatory and amazing sessions coming up as well. All the best, everybody. I hope to see you all on the Edyst platform, and we'll be in touch soon. Thank you so much.